Swans and Dogs are about to do it again. Bob Murphy, welcome back to your old chair.
Hey, boys.
How are you?
How are we going? Good. Good
Welcome,
to be back.
Bob.
Jordan Lewis, hello.
Excited, boys.
Are you excited to have Bob back?
He's been in a couple of times. Not in our segment, my segment.
So that's a no. He's not excited.
How good was it to catch up with Neil upstairs, boys?
It's incredible. He's a beautiful, courageous man and charismatic. It's an honour to shake his hand.
Yeah. It's touching watching what he's gone through, but he's going through something really tough at the moment, but to have a positive mindset is extraordinary. And there's a lot of lessons to be learned in that. But the game on Monday is huge for a lot of reasons, but what he's doing, what his family's doing for that disease is extraordinary.
He goes in and visits Melbourne, doesn't he? I reckon I saw footage last year of that. So has he been in or is he planning to come in?
Not yet. I think he came in maybe 2 days before the game last year and spoke to the players. So, yeah, the players are fully aware of what Monday means.
Good on you.
No, it'll be great. And everyone's beanied up.
You'll wear beanies anyway now, so you might as well just wear the MND.
They look good, I reckon.
Can I ask you a question? Did Rizzy talk about Neil other than when Neil was at the club last year? After that, does it get mentioned again, or is it already knowledgeable? Do you think Goody will mention what it means to be Melbourne? Because this is Melbourne's day. This is Queen's birthday Monday. This is a day where a former coach called Neil Danaher is. I said before, he's a tough old bastard. He was a fierce coach. And it's going to be a fierce game, and there's going to be a big crowd, and the day is half for Neil.
Yeah. I'm not too sure how he will approach it, but it would be remiss of him not to mention something about it. I mean, we wore the beanies today at training, so there was an obvious sign that we were aware of it. But yeah, once you get to the game on the day and you see everything, and there's a little bit of out of the stand, and there's an ice bath there, but I think Goody would mention something about it, but I think we're aware of it. And as Neil said in the green room, you'd have to be under a rock to not know about MND now.
And that's his gift, isn't it? How are you? Hamstring and a little bit of knee surgery?
It doesn't sound too good, does it? No, I'm okay. I've bit of a sore hammy and had the knee cleaned up. So another 3 weeks maybe, and should be back into it. But
glad it was an injury. When I saw it, Bob, I thought, geez, you've slowed up.
I thought, just for a split second, I thought, I can't believe I've cramped, and then, oh no. But for a little second, I was more embarrassed about the
Is
cramp.
it painful? Is it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
You feel a little tear. But then you know, it's a 35-year-old bloke who's done a hamstring. This is what happens.
So you'd be reasonably conservative with it, given that it's June?
No. You got to get back out there. I'm already sort of missing it. You're sort of cut from the herd as an injured player, so I'm keen to get back into it.
How are you travelling, you think, Bob?
The Dogs?
Yeah.
I think we're sitting okay. Yeah, it's been patchy. It's been a bit patchy.
You were patchy last year about this stage.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't really have it click last year. We clicked probably the first month of last year and the last month. This year we haven't quite. But the game against the Saints before the bye was probably best forequarter. Yep. So I think we're sitting okay. Huge game Thursday night. Massive.
Oh,
these SCG
games we love. These are the best, mate.
Yeah.
These SCG ones have been the ones, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. The Dogs and the Swans we've had some beauties over the last couple of years, and particularly up at the SCG, it'll be another beauty.
Do you leave discussions with Libba to the coaches, the line coaches, or as captain? Do you special talks with him, go around and visit him, you invite him around to your house and cook some food for him? How do you deal with Libba?
With Libba or with players in general?
Libba.
You have, affection or, different relationships with different players, and I'm really close with Tom, and he's going through a bit of a slump that that everyone has gone through it at some
career.
point.
You understand what he's talking about, Jordan?
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's hard, and I think guys like Libba get more exposure than others, but he's had a fantastic career up until now, and probably quite lucky not to have a form slump with the amount of games that he's played and being so young. But when you're a quality player like that, you get more attention. The game becomes probably a little bit harder. So no doubt, he's the best player that I've played on around a stoppage. I mean, he's what they call fast feet. So, you know, he goes from here to here to here to here, and then he's gone before you know it. So no doubt he'll work out a way to get through this form slump, as players do, and he'll be a great asset come the back end of the season.
Does he get down? Does player how? If we can keep with Libba rather than the group, is Libba the kind of guy to get down, or is he? I'll show you. How does he respond to emotionally getting dropped to the VFL?
Oh, like I'm sure he'd be annoyed, or he'd probably even be a bit pissed off not to be in the team, you know, because he's...
Keep your language to the radio, please. I don't know what you're thinking.
I'm only on once a month, so
you know, sorry about that, kids. Sorry, kids.
What was I going to say about Tom? But he's uncomplicated with his footy, Tom. He's just a competitive beast. He does that stuff around the stoppages, like it's innate. You know, other guys can learn how to do it. He's just got it in his bones, and he'll recapture his best footy before too long.
Travis Cloke probably looked his best in the Swans game earlier in the year. Would you anticipate that he'll be playing on Thursday night?
Not sort of being cheeky or anything. I wouldn't have any idea actually. He'd be pretty close. I think he'd be pretty close.
Are you, when you're playing, are you consulted? Are you on the match committee? Or do you get consulted heavily by Beveridge?
No. I think sometimes the players think I am. They kind of, you know, on a Thursday when the team's getting picked and we're wandering around the gym and they, do I know? Like, no. No, I don't. And they just sort of have that suspicious look of, yeah, you do. You didn't have me in, did you?
This game started it, I reckon. This game started the belief, I might be telling lies here, but watching that game this time last year was the day I thought, God, the Dogs can win the flag this year.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Agree with that?
Yeah, it probably was for a lot of the players, a lot of the supporters. It was probably a different moment for me, but it was definitely a big one. Yeah, I mean, any time you can get interstate wins, and we haven't had many this year. I don't know if we've had any. They're like gold. They really, and because you do, it just cuts away everything. It's just the travelling party, foreign territory up against a good opponent. To get a win and it's been greasy up there the last couple of times. Yep. Close finishes, wins near the siren.
Bodies flying everywhere.
That I don't know, what are they worth? 8 points. It's a bit of a throwaway line, but those wins they can catapult a season.
Jesse Hogan back at training today. How's he going?
Good. Yeah, it was good to see him on the track today. He didn't have any interaction with the main group. He's easing back into it, but fantastic. He looked good, he moved well, he looked like he was in a good spot. So he's going really well at the moment.
They're just like pick-you-ups, aren't they? Through the season, you must have, as a group, troughs and highs, and it gets cold, you're training, it's raining, it's wet, and the next minute Jesse Hogan's running out. You think, hey, good to have you back, Jesse.
Yeah, I think
just those pick-ups.
Well, it puts everything into perspective, because you do get so insular, and the football club gets so insular, and there's stuff happening around the world, and football places are great places. So you I think just enjoy it, and it's probably not until someone that's close to you or in your team goes through something so hard like that, it makes you realise. Or you go to a funeral and they go, oh, this. Oh, let's just enjoy life for the moment. It happens for a week and then you go back to your old ways. But life's too short, I think.
But it's not always tragedy or sadness as well, because the footy season inside a footy club is probably the same for you guys in the media. But it's just routine upon routine. Every day has got a certain rhythm to it. The weeks they just bump along, but then there are things that snap you out of it, and that's that's one of them.
Absolutely.
It does. It kind of, you smell the roses for a bit. And other times it's a teammate, other times it's a young kid playing his first game, or those sort of things give you that little boost.
How many times have you been jumper punched in 305 games, you reckon, Bob?
I've been jumper punched up for a long time. Jumper punched up for a long time. Chad Corns, he boxed me around there. And Paddy Ryder gave...
Did he?
Yeah, I had the, it's like the sparks. It's a bit happening with that at the moment, isn't it?
Are you happy with where it has settled at the moment?
Where has it settled?
You punch someone in the face, you're going to get suspended.
Well,
but not necessarily a free kick, just suspended.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Can you talk to all your players about acting as well, Jordan?
So I have a theory on the jumper punch. So just imagine this Freeze MND beanie as a jumper.
Hang on, just wait till you're back on.
Okay,
I don't want to waste your best visual material.
This is your version of a jumper.
This is a jumper. So that's a jumper punch. Like a big puffy jumper. When you just hold on to someone's collar, it's just a punch.
It's just a punch.
It's just a punch.
I get the feeling that you're happy that people are getting in trouble.
It's all too late. I've played 300. I'm coming to the end.
Well, you're not going to get any more, hopefully.
No, well.
What about you, Knuckles?
I would have a few, no doubt.
How many have you thrown?
Yeah,
lots.
It was one of those things as a player you knew you could get away with because you had someone's jumper and it didn't look as bad as a punch, but now it's clearly not on.
It's ridiculous how that player's got away with it for so long.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah,
just ridiculous. So you're happy with where it's settled?
Absolutely.
It was a really interesting debate last night with Jared and Chris and Richo. Fearful that something on preliminary final day, you get to the preliminary final, Jordan, and you jump a punch like Tommy Hawkins and you get a week. Do you think the football world would be satisfied with that? Would you accept that?
I think so. I think players know now, and you can argue whether that's worth a week because it wasn't hard enough. But the action now is outlawed. So if you do that, you understand that you'll miss games.
I mean, the flow-on effect of that is, and we had this discussion recently, is the sledging. Because no one likes people running around with their mouth chirping, with nothing can happen.
Like Jack.
Like who?
Jack.
Jack, who's Jack?
Rewalt.
Oh, Jack, the chirper. Jack.
Forgotten him already.
Yeah. But, chirping and rubbing the top of people's head. I'm thinking, God, stop that out. Get rid of that, because that's going to get people really frustrated.
Yeah, that's going to flow on.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, players do take it to the nth degree.
All right, we had 4 umpires in action on the weekend. This is sort of the experiment around structure as to whether more eyes are more beneficial to the pain of free kicks, to the scene of free kicks. Do you have a philosophical theory around it?
Well, I saw a free kick on the weekend paid that I have not seen in my entire career. I think it was the centre bounce when a player's heel stepped over the line and he was penalised for stepping out of the circle. I think the biggest issue, and this is not the umpire's fault, is we play a game, we have the most participants on the field. So adding another person takes up space. So players are already trying to run around, trying to find space. Teams defend in zones, so there's not much space. So the 4th umpire has to position himself somewhere close to the contest. So I was watching on Friday night, and it just looked like sometimes they were in the road and could have potentially a player run into that space if he wasn't there. I think so, and I think at the moment 3 umpires is obviously enough. We used to have 2, and it worked okay. So hopefully it's a trial, and hopefully it doesn't go any further than that from my view.
Have you got a theory on it?
I feel for the umpire. I don't think it's a numbers thing. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if players are the best to ask about that, but when we tinker with the interpretation of rules constantly, that's got to make their job harder. I would like to see them just here's your set of rules for a few years. There you go.
That's a great segue.
Yeah. Well, go on.
If Gil McLaughlin rang you up and you can't get punished, You can't get penalised any financial.
Have you checked that this is okay?
No, but Gil won't do anything. What of the umpiring and the interpretations are what is confusing you and frustrating you the most?
There's not one single thing. I just think they've got so many things to consider that it's got to be the hardest game to umpire, I reckon, already. So
In the world?
Well, it's got to be in the top couple. I don't know. It's a complicated game. 360 degrees. I think we just ask so much of our umpires, to the physicality of it, and then the decision making. Geez, as players, we make poor decisions all the time. They're going to make a few, of course. I think we could make life for them a bit easier.
Career in umpiring, post football.
Yep.
Sounds like he's going down that path.
Yeah. Good back. Hope you got a good back.
You can't jump and punch the ump. That's for sure.
All right, good to see you. Recover well.
Well done, Doc.
In a
Good to be
few
here.
weeks. Enjoy Monday.
Thanks.
And we
Will do.
look forward
Yeah,
to
have a
talking
great
to you in
day.
the aftermath of Big Freeze 3.